The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, to the breach do we go, dear friends.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, we're off 5 points on the S&P. Cash volume coming in at 2.5 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. And what else do we have to say about it other than that? This time, as they say in the Army, to hurry up and wait. And that is for the Fed at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. We got a couple of things that might put a little bit of movement in the market. Nothing more than our coming soon-to-be president tweeting and moving some stocks on. But other than that, quiet and not unexpected. We're getting into this time of year. Of course, the options expiration is on Friday. And just seems to me like we got people that are not saying the market's not going up. I just think everybody is way, way too bullish right now. And as we said last week, I thought we'd probably go sideways at least into Wednesday. And I'm going to take a little bit of victory lap. I'm going to break my arm, pat my back, because that's kind of what's happened so far. Volume is a little bit better for a Monday than I thought it would be, 2.5 billion shares as we start the show. And we got some other things to talk about. But what's a lot more charts today, a lot less news, and probably not a lot happening until then. So let's get this party started.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is 1901, and Mr. Marconi receives the first radio signals across the Atlantic Ocean. The signals travel from Marconi's transmitter on the south coast of England to his receiver in St. John's, Newfoundland, ushering in the age of wireless communications. And most people don't know, but I think it was until maybe a few years after the sinking of the Titanic in, what was that, 1911? I think it was 1911. They were using a thing called a spark gap transmitter back then because they really didn't have any figure out. They were just basically broadcasting on all bands. They would have made it unusable for anybody with a modern radio to use. These things were flaky. I'm going to say the word flaky. But, you know, when you had a handful of telegraph lines going back and forth, it might take an hour or two to get a message across the Atlantic. And, of course, while you couldn't always guarantee your message would get there with radio, it was a ton cheaper. And, you know, they just set up more radio stands, more people doing stuff. But you know, he made his money. Like I know a lot of people don't understand. This was kind of a weird deal, but he made a great deal of money beyond that because there was a landline to send stuff back and forth. They made a lot of money sending telegrams back and forth to the ships like the Titanic, and that's really where they got the beginning of their money to get this thing going. But kind of really the beginning of radio in 1901. And most people think of Apple as the big Mac Daddy today. And you really have to think about radio working fairly well in the 1920s. But it was running on batteries. No one had a real AC to DC converter to make these radios work. Along came a little company called Motorola. They made a power supply that could hook to these radios, and that's when RCA really took off. And the first big tech boom in the 20s. But it all started today in 1901 with a humble radio transmitter sending things across the Atlantic. And then back to telegraph stations, which seems almost a little nuts. But it didn't take them long to get this thing going a lot better. And what else can you say, Mr. Marconi? After the bell today, we've got Verifone Systems, and then before the bell on Wednesday, Joy Global. After the bell on Thursday, Adobe Systems, Jabil Circuits, and Oracle. And that's kind of it till next year. So got the little dribs and drabs out here. I think we start seeing earnings again in the second week of January. I haven't looked that hard at it. I will before this week, and start looking at when the next earnings cycle starts all over again. But that's kind of it. As I said, kind of a quiet day out here on Wall Street for that. Now, what do we have going on out here? We said earlier that we had Mr. Trump tweeting out here, Boeing Company kind of in an inside range today at the same price, close enough to what happened on it. More about Lockheed Martin. General Dynamics got a little pin action on this. It got down to 168 earlier in the day. It's recovered most of it. Lockheed Martin, kind of something similar. Now, this thing had a couple of big gaps up, and you had to worry about this thing filling these gaps. And it kind of did it today. But I think this is just the beginning of let's make a deal with all the vendors who sell things to the United States. I don't think anybody's going to be untouched with the great art of the deal maker. And the question is, when will the tweet land on your stock? And you don't know. But if it deals with the government, it may. NOC, which is Northrop Grumman, man, it had a tick all the way down to $220.72 today. Volume was fairly good. This filled kind of the same kind of Lockheed Martin-looking gap out here. OA, if you're not familiar with this company, this is Orbital ATK. This is a consortium of various companies that are in the satellite launching business. This one kind of went down to about $82 today. So recovered most of it, still down lower, of course, today. And the last one is the Triumph Group, which I'm not exactly sure why it's in here, probably because I made a mistake. Let's delete it now. And she is gone from that. What do we have going on for time here? Where's my little time? Oh, we got 46 cents. We're going to look at the stocks that have been gapping up and gapping down and percentage winners in the next segment. And then we'll go on to the ones that are making kind of interesting signals in the bottom half of the hour. Time to give me a call at 877-927-6648. Time to email me at pat@tfnn.com. Time to put a message in the den. Just let me know it's from you.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we are back. And we got a little bit going on out here. Let's clean this up. Stocks gapping up today. Alamos Gold. Is Alamo a person? AGI. Anyway, nice little pop-up today. This thing's got some action. The volume, not quite what it was on Friday, but kind of getting back into this area of support right around $6 and seeing a nice bounce today. Other movers of interest today. Anavex Life Sciences, this little biotech popped, but is going to be woefully light on volume, and that is 27 million shares on September 28th, 1.9 so far today. What else do we have going on here? Bonanza Creek Energy, BCEI. This is a little penny stock, but it's starting to break out with energy today. It needs to hold $1.42. It looks like it could do that, but kind of pulling back on the day. To CPHI, that one's a little bit lean on it. EV Energy Partners, another one that spiked here in the lower dollar range. Very good energy off the bottom for a lower volume stock. 1.15 million shares today, but did not hold the high of July 13. HUSA, that's another light volume stock. IGC, this one popped today. A nice three advancing candles there. Jaguar X, little pop. A lot of these are low dollar stocks. Meckel OAO. Now, this one's been a little rocket ship. Gapped up on energy. Did so on, how much volume there? 3.4 million shares back on October 24th. This went over it. Really never had the kind of volume, but it did come back on light volume on Friday back into that $5.25 top. Just touched it with very light volume. Nice day, volume pretty good out here. ORIG, which is Ocean Rig. This one, just a whole bunch of gaps gapping away. This is the third big gap, though, out of this one. So you're probably looking at this one also going back into this gap down from June 24th. That gap had 3.3 million shares. You got 9 million shares, but it wasn't able to hold that either. My guess is you're going to get some fairly decent pullbacks in this sector. PED, let's get rid of that one. I don't like it. What else do we have? Prolaxic Biotherapeutics, nothing on that one. Transgenomic, nice little pop on this penny stock, but not anything I think it's tradable. Vanguard Natural Resources tried to, had a nice run back up here and high volume on $1.34. It was on 19.5 million shares on December 5th. Today we hit that with 6.5 million shares so far. So, that's some interesting. Those are the percentage advancers for the day. We'll look at the percentage decliners for the day. Abeona Therapeutics, ABEO. This is back down to its gap. Hang on, let me get that gap. It's back down to this gap that is from September 1st. 108 million shares back into it today with 1.8 million shares. And it kind of just touched it for a second. To see what the energy was on this last down leg. We can get it. Come on. Nope. Okay. Well, got heavier volume, so best you're probably thinking this thing goes sideways. Alexia Pharmaceuticals, this thing had a nice day on Friday, but not a lot of volume popped up. Big surprise to the downside today with a ton of volume breaking back through the volume that we had on the November the 4th. So that one is in trouble. Another one down here in the bio sector that's having an issue is Depot Med. This one gapped down and continued to move lower. Looks like $17.42 is the November 8th low. So you're probably, you're almost into that already. My guess is you want it to test that. But 1742, 10.8 million shares. We only have 3.4 million shares now. So this may be a nice test of a low setting up as long as we want it. Of course, Intrepid Potash had been the big winner, a nice little kind of dark cloud cover over Friday's open and close bar. It did spike to 304 on December 9th. Down. Not a lot of volume so far, but about $1.60 would probably be where you're looking at this one, or to $1.70 on this one to take a look at it on the retrace. OPXA, which is Opexa Therapeutics. They're just making names up now, aren't they? Anyway, this one's a little gap down. I don't see a lot in that one, though. And SSI, which is Stage Stores, a little gap on this one. It came down with heavy volume. It went sideways. It's got into about halfway into the gap. When these gaps are big, that's what you look for. And it failed right there at halfway into the gap down today. Volume, not that bad, but again, this is not uncommon. You want to see this happen 2 or 3 or 4 times and see where all the interest in buying this kind of goes away. And if you can find this thing at $4.40 in a month or so out here going sideways with no volume, it might be very interesting. So that's percent decliners. Did we get to the gap ups and gap downs? I don't think we did those yet, did we? These are all, of course, pretty much energy related. Apache gapped up this morning. It's kind of rolled back on itself today. Not enough volume really to go through the $66 high of September 29th. You kind of had we'll call it 4.7 million shares on the 1st of December to go against that September 29th high. Just kind of went sideways for a few days. Tried to go higher today. We got 3.6 million shares. Certainly not going to be anywhere close to the almost 8 million shares of that September 29th. Energy's been kind of a little lackluster from the November 4th low. So some of these, like Apache, APC, are starting to look a little bit suspect. Anadarko, it gapped higher, rolled back somewhat today. Still hasn't made any kind of signal whatsoever on it. Do we have anything here? Where's my... Did I lose that? Yeah. We got nice volume up here. You know, I don't see a lot. Did roll over, doesn't have a lot of volume. I don't know how you can touch this thing right now until it gets back down to this double gap around $61. That's where you want to look at the thing.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Well, that was the Power Trading Hour in Morse code, celebrating the first radio transmission in 1901 this day, with Mr. Marconi at least across the Atlantic. You got to think, how was life when that's what you had to listen to? No AM, no FM, just Morse code. What a time. Anyway, what else do we have going on out here? Anadarko, we were talking about this before we left. Nice little, oh, no one heard it there. Well, that's no good. Just a lot of silence, apparently. I don't know. I heard it. That's all that matters. Nice little pop here with Anadarko Petroleum. And I don't know if you can say anything else about it. Nice little pop. You got this thing kind of rolling back in. Again, 61, 62, you got a bunch of gaps down here at 61, 62. If you're in it, this thing hasn't had volume since the day it had the sign of strength on November 30th. And it's up here. Probably time for this thing to pull back a little bit, and we'll keep an eye on it. BHP, also a little gap up on this guy today. Volume is okay. Nice dollar move for BHP. It's back up to its highs. No sign on this that it's broken any of its uptrend out here. When we look at BP, British Petroleum, I remember I had a boss that complained profusely about British Petroleum because they bought one of the local gas station chains, promised never to change the name of it, and then promptly changed the name of the gas station chain. Not that it really matters, but I guess a lot of people have hometown pride for those kind of things. But it was like every time we pass one of these British Petroleum, the story would start all over again. Of course, little did I know that they would pollute the entire Gulf of Mexico. Anyway, energy, just okay from this November 14th up to this high, 6.68 million shares so far. You got a little bit more to go to get to the July 13th high. That's $37.28. No real big sign out here. You do have more volume on today than you did on the October 10th high. So that sets up the next July 13th, $37.28 on British Petroleum. ConocoPhillips, another nice little gap up in this energy stock today. That was what was crude. I think crude closed up $1.85. Another little hammer candle out here, inverted hammer candle. Volume not all that exciting out here too. These things look like they got kind of just about everything that you're going to get out of these things for a short time. Again, almost all of these look the same. Oh, shouldn't have left ConocoPhillips. These double gaps down here look like big targets to me. That'd be about $45 on ConocoPhillips. And if you were looking for a bull market on it, not in it, that's probably where you need to look at it to buy these back. Chevron Corporation, another gap higher. Energy's okay so far today. Again, these things kind of gave up a little bit too much of this price gap up and spike. 118.98. You give back more than about half of it. Seems to me more like a sign of weakness than a sign of strength. Not a lot of volume in these either. But again, you haven't busted any downtrend on these either. This one comes in at 111 for its double gap. And these things, had a nice little reversal there that put a lot of people in the poke if they were short. ESV, which is Enesco, another pop up. Now, this is back into some resistance, back into the July 13th high, the June 8th high at 807. He gave back almost all of the gap already, but a fairly nice little pop out here today. Just no volume in these, and which is got to make you think that we're maybe overdue for a pullback, and you would want to look at some of the retracements on it. FMC Technologies, FTI, is gapped up again. We'll have to see how the volume comes in. You need 3.5 million shares. You have 2.4 right now. The December high is just a little higher, $36.51 for the high today. We got $36.40, so 11 cents short on that, but of course giving a great deal of it back. I think you kind of come back down here a little bit. Ideally, if you're looking for a pullback on these, you probably want them to pull back, probably go up to these previous highs one more time on very light volume in the last couple of days of the year, and then watch them start to pull back. Halliburton. Another one all these candles kind of look the same in this energy sector. Up to 56.08 on this one today. Not a lot of volume, giving back 3/4 of it so far. You've got a double gap in this one that takes you back down to about $49 to $50. And that be a nice pullback on light volume. You got it made. Hess Corporation. Now, this one needed about 8.4 million shares. That goes back to the April 27th high. This actually broke it today with 3.6 million shares so far. So it looks to me like you're going to come in at about 5/8 of the volume of that previous April 27th high. If you close back below it, that is a sell signal on the Hess. They keep on trying to sell themselves. I don't know if whatever happened to that. Accidental Petroleum. I wouldn't probably have named my company anything close to accidental. Occidental Petroleum, OXY. Nice gap on this one. Actually holding up better than most of the rest on those. Not a lot of volume out here today, but not a bad deal. Your double gap on that one, it's 68. So that would probably 68 and change is would you be looking. We'll take a look at the USO, United States Oil Fund. This one is challenging its previous October 19th high, $47. What is that? $11.79 with 47 million shares. Getting into it with 38 million shares already. This could be a tie, but it doesn't look like it's going to hold that October 19th high today, even on these gaps. The double gaps on these come back to about $10.10 to $10.40. That's where you'd want to pick these up on the retrace. XOM kind of pulls in the last one we have here. Now, this one has gapped over the October 10th high that had 10 million shares. That was $88.67. It did do that today. We are going to have more volume. Already got 11 million shares on it. So ExxonMobil, pretty good looking chart out here. Volume is picking up. Watch how this volume comes in. Again, I would like to see these, if I was going to buy these things, I would like them to go up, challenge the previous high. In this case, that's the July 15th high at $94.74. Come back down and look at where these gaps are in these stocks. This one is about 86.50. So, you're basically looking at some 10% pullbacks on some of these energy stocks to have them line up for an ABC, maybe higher. We've got a lot of stocks to look at today and get a lot of them in. Give me a call at 877-927-6648, and we'll see what else is going on here today.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And kind of the headline out here today is the tweet that cost Lockheed Martin $4 billion in market cap. It's kind of interesting, but not unheard of. And what else can you say? Not much going on today. It's going to be kind of a quiet move out here into the Fed announcement on Wednesday. We've got 6 points lower on the S&P cash now, 2.75 billion shares. So volume fairly good compared to the last 2 years, and certainly in the range of what we've had since a couple weeks before the election. It started really picking up. I picked up one additional position on Friday, and it's up a couple of percent today, and 2.5%. But we'll be looking at a few others out here that might be giving signals. And I don't know what else you can. That's kind of everything going on. Those are the gap ups. Did I do the gap downs already? Can't remember if I did so. I don't think I did. Gapping down today is Crombie and Fitch. These routine retailers continue to be weak. This did have a test of the previous low, but not actually pierce that November 9th low of $14. Got into it with 3 million shares, so 25% lighter volume, but it needed another 14 cents on that December 1st low. That's why the Wyckoff standard model of trading stocks off lows like this would say that it has to actually pierce that low either intraday or over a number of days and then close back above it, always with lighter volume. I like to see at least 50% lighter volume, or you get a good chance of yet another retest. Now you can get what some called an automatic rally, and that is a rally that's not really set up to do anything. But again, you get about halfway into these gaps, and that's where these stocks are kind of giving it up. So if you get halfway into a big major gap like this on lighter volume, that's time to pull the ripcord. You've got as much money back if you held it through that you're going to get. Carnival Cruise Line, this one's gapping down. Didn't hear any reasons out here, but volume's not all that exciting. You would like to expect this one to come down to about $50.75. And I don't think there's anything more about that one. NVIDIA was off a few bucks. Everybody I know is now asking where they can buy this retrace on the day. Got down to 87.54. There's a, for me, this thing would have to get down to about 72.50, 73 bucks. And there may be some dark clouds on the horizon on this one. It did test its previous high on a lighter volume, not all that much. So you might get one more rip back up here into the 96s or 100. But my guess is this thing, like most of these, are going to probably drift higher. This probably has a lot of shorts in it. figure that this thing's at least going to ring the bell at $100. One of the best bets in the market is once a stock gets into the 90s, it is much more likely to hit 100 than hit 80. And that's about 85%. So once they get in the $90, I just wait for them to hit 100, 102, 103, and see whether there's any juice on it. We're going to take a small break for me to sneeze. Well, that was the 3 sneeze break. Anyway, ideally, you'd want this thing to get up to about 100, 101 bucks. If you thought about shorting it, this is one of the stronger stocks. I suspect, and outlined in the Tech Insider, what I think the challenge is going forward in these companies like NVIDIA and AMD is going forward. And you can always check that out on the front page of TFNN, the Tech Insider. It's my weekly. It's just a weekly, so it's not very expensive. You can always go check that out for a free 30-day trial. Now, what else is in that? Well, you got this big gap, and you really need 74, 73 out here if you could get it. This thing has been pretty strong. My guess is anywhere into this gap from the gap up on the 11th of November, people are going to try to get all over it again. UAL is another one that has gapped down. This one, you can start looking at some abandoned babies out here. This may be a little bit tied to crude prices. I don't know how much it is, but down a little bit. You got a couple more gaps. You'd love this thing to get back in here to 64 bucks if you were thinking bullish on this and on that gap. I'm not really sure that things are going to be that great on United Continental Holdings. This thing had kind of come off of its lows to $37 on June 27th. I just don't see anything that's amazingly different from that day to this day. The truth is probably somewhere in between. Taking it in the shins today was the UNG. What you don't want to and what you don't like to see is massive volume. And then guess what? This thing actually didn't look that bad other than it had 37 million shares down on the 7th. So it's kind of a little bit of a warning signal. The energy from the way down to the way up was good. So everything I'm looking at here says that this was great. So what is it about natural gas that is a problem? And there is a direct correlation, one that goes back for at least 15 years that I've looked at, and that is that natural gas is the hedge for crude. So if you see a $2-3 point move up in crude, you can see that this is the opposite side of that, where a lot of people will just add shorts onto that position to hedge out their crude positions. Natural gas, it's here in the United States. It's not going to see the whims and follies or trade with the whims and follies as much as the Mideast and whether or not Russia. And Mr. Putin is moving around. As Andy Heck said, he Putinized the crude market. But, you got 3 nice gaps back below before the last low out here. Could you call this a 3-gap play? It is possible. That could take you back down to $7.40. I don't know if you're probably not going to go there immediately, or maybe not at all until the spring. But you have to keep an eye on that. What the rig count went up for like the 10th week in a row on Friday. That doesn't do you a lot of good. There's so much extra natural gas floating around out here. This is one that's come off the bottom, but it's not because supply is going away. And, of course, because of the hedges on crude, you really have to look at if crude really pops like it did today, are you going to have some bad hair days in the UNG just because it is so directly tied and correlated to the price of crude on a very short time frame, 3 to 5 days. Anyway, nice move back down today. Not really expected. The volume was, 32 million shares on Friday. It would have been hard for me to sell that if I had it. Energy up, off the low. Everything looked beautiful. The only thing, a lot of people short this as food goes higher. We'll be back in a minute.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're at the home stretch here. Tom O'Brien for the next 2 hours. Andy Heck asked me to tell you that he's got a special guest. I had him on, this guest on a couple of years ago. His name is Bart Chilton. He'll be on 5 o'clock tomorrow night on Andy's show. I've had him on before, back when he was actually on the commission, the Commodities Trading Commission. And it's one that Andy should probably, hoping Mr. Trump puts Andy on in that position, he'd be pretty good. It'd be nice to know somebody in the halls of power up there in Washington, D.C. But a one-man write-in campaign for Andy for FTCFC. What is it? CFTC? I never can. There's too many abbreviations these days, isn't there? The Commodities Futures Trading Commission. Yeah, that'd be it. Anyway, tomorrow night, always good to hear people that at least the inside skinny on what's going on around the commodities department. I'll look forward to listening. What else is happening today? People are typing away at me madly. Anyway, what I wanted to look at is a few stocks out here, how they're reacting today to previous highs. I had this one in my newsletter, I think this morning, and that's GoDaddy. This was testing a previous high on 1/3 the volume, and it acted pretty much exactly like you thought it would. October 25th, it had $36.96 for its high, 1.5 million shares. Got into it with 1 million shares on November 28th, got back into it with 500,000 shares on Friday. Couldn't hold that high, did a little candle up there that tells you that maybe this is all there is. Oh, I got to get that. Is that all there is? I think I got it somewhere. Down today, not a lot of volume so far. Again, a lot of these coming up here, testing very light volume. Not uncommon for this time of year with just about a week to go to see these things kind of drift higher, maybe even lighter volume into the end of the year. No reason to pull the ripcord right now on these short, but a lot of these up here with very light volume. Again, the beginning of the year, probably a better time to see whether or not you want to pull the ripcord now. What you don't want to do is go long these things up here with no volume. IBM is another one. This thing needed about 8.7 million shares from its August 11th high. That had $165 on it. Got through it on Friday, but only with 3.2 million shares today. It's down on 2.4 million shares so far. But really, the energy off this back low wasn't that bad. But you really needed a little bit more volume than you had. This sign of strength, the closest thing you had a sign of strength on December 7th was 4.4 million shares. Again, we're looking for around 9 to 10 million shares to make this high at 165 stick. I kind of like the business these guys are moving into. I just need one more pullback on lighter volume to pull the trigger on this one. There were a few other stocks. I don't know if we have enough time. Microsoft getting a little up here in the air. 35 million shares on October 25th high. 61.37 broke that with 27 million shares on Friday. 14 million shares today. So a lot of these are just bucking up against on very light volume previous highs. And I think this may be a record of charts that we went through in a single day on this show. You may have to go to channel 14, watch the replay. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.